my name's Eric Rock with Joe Van Oss Photo Safaris. Welcome to It's in the Bag. Today I'm here with Jeff Vanuga. We're on the MV Ushuaia and we're cruising for South Georgia Island. Just had a couple days at sea. We're all excited to make our first landing soon as we see the island come up ahead of us. And you know, I have to remind everybody, if you notice a little bit of movement in your display or your screen at home, don't try to adjust it. We're on the ship. We've got a little bit of wave action here. You don't have to worry about that. That's just us. So, Jeff, what did you bring down with you for your photography expedition this year? Well, and what are you going to be addressing?
Let's start with the tripod. I'm a fan of really right stuff gear. I have a TVC 33. This tripod weighs about 4.3 pounds. Extends out to 58 inches. It's long enough where if I'm on a hillside that I can have legs extended on a steep slope. Has 3 legs for extension. Weighs about 4.3 pounds. I brought a little heavier tripod for this trip because we are in high wind country. We're going to have katabatic winds that go from 0 to 60, 70, 80 miles an hour at the snap of a finger. I have a BH-55 ball head, and what I do in preparation for a trip, I bathe these in all the parts in silicone spray. I live in a cold climate in Wyoming, so silicone spray does not freeze at low temperatures. This is operated down to 40 below, 50 below zero. I've got a self-leveling pano head. It's lightweight, that's what I like about it. It has a ball for balancing and equalizing the tripod head, and then I can just pan 4 shots if I need to and then lock it. I also have a shotgun sling on here. And I got this at Cabela's many years ago, and a client asked me, and I said, yeah, they still make them. I checked it here this past year. So I kind of reverse it. It just slings on over the ball head, such as this, and goes like this. So it's something that I carry, and I can just carry it over my shoulder. I don't have to attach it to the bag or whatever. Some of these tripods are just a little bit big for attaching to a camera bag. So.
Very good point. The sling is important. How many times have you decided, oh, you know what, I don't have the ability to carry a tripod? You get out to a setting or a scene and you go to shoot and you really require that tripod. Tripod's only good if you can have it along with you.
Man's best friend when it comes to photography.
Great way to look at it. Yeah. What else do we have in there?
I have my bag, and I carry many layers sometimes. One piece of clothing that I really like down here is an Outdoor Research waterproof down, and the jacket is actually windproof and waterproof, even though it's down. The problem with down in these kind of climates, if you have mixed rain and snow, they can get wet, and then they lose their insulating power. Some of the Thinsulate and other types of products are just too thick and bulky, you know. So this will compact. I can even take it with me on the plane. And I carry my shell generally on the outside. It's waterproof, so it really doesn't matter. You can get a couple of these straps from REI or any good outdoor shop, and these are built into the pack. Nice lightweight shell, no material, no fur, nothing that collects dirt or anything like that. So I use this all the way down to 50 below zero in Wyoming, shooting in Yellowstone, around my home, and places like that. I use a Mind Shift bag. This is the First Light 40 liter. I've owned a lot of bags, and I'll tell you what, the harness system on this bag is just well engineered, very comfortable. It actually fits. Your harness should go around your waist, and most of the weight support of the bag should be on your hips. And then you have adjustable straps here. Great bag. It's even waterproof, and it even comes with a waterproof external case that you put around it, which I carry with me, especially on this trip.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, you know, that some bags are great for travel, some are good backpacks. This bag seems to be a really nice balance of
Right. This is a little bit bigger bag, and this is the one I normally travel with. In fact, over the past year, that's all I've been using is this bag.
All right. Now you got my curiosity. What's inside?
It's empty.
Yeah, good. That's perfect for this trip.
Let's open it up. I have been going lightweight. I have a full frame Nikon system. I love it, but carrying all this gear through the airports, backcountry, things like that, it's just getting overwhelming. And with weight restrictions, things like that. So now on my international trips and anytime I get on planes, I don't take my full frame system. I use it for short, several mile hikes or out of the vehicle at my home. But when I'm traveling now, I have two D500s bodies. Always have at least two. They're crop cameras and great performance on these cameras. High ISO, high dynamic range, just a great system.
That's your 2-camera insurance policy, just in case something were to go wrong, or if you need to make a quick switch.
It doesn't even hurt to have 3 if you can carry them. Let's start with the wide angle. I'm a real wide angle fan, and they make a couple small lenses for this outfit. So this is 10 to 24, and it's about equivalent to 15 to 36 millimeter, I believe, is what the full crop equivalent is. So that's one, very lightweight. Instead of bringing my 14 to 24 Nikon, which is bulbous, I have a photodiox attachment onto it. Very, very heavy piece of equipment. Beautifully made, but heavy. I also have a 16 to 80 millimeter. This is usually a kit lens when you buy the D500, and that's equivalent to about 24 to 120. Great focal length for an intermediate lens.
Mid-range zooms come in handy a lot when you're traveling.
Right. All my cameras have L plates on them, so you can slide it into the tripod head with a quick release. If you want to do vertical, you can just bring it up here. You don't have to drop the camera to the side or anything like that. Kind of tilt your head. Great system. I don't have it with me, but I brought a 70 to 200 2.8 with me on this trip with a tele extender, and that's just a backup lens for the most part. Or if I'm just doing concentrating more on landscapes. For the wildlife portion of it, maybe long-range scenics, I brought an 80 to 400 millimeter, very lightweight. What I find with a lot of people is equipment burden with them. So, what else do I have in my bag of tricks? I've got a pair of binoculars. In case I got to find the clients, see something great. A little bit of Leica 10 by 20 is very compact and very high quality glass. Doesn't weigh very much.
They look like babies. Are they old enough to be away from their mothers?
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, those I carry with me. We should always have them, especially leaders. I have a few filters. I'm not a big filter hound. Again, I'm a fan of Stingray. I've got a 1 to 8 stop neutral density.
If you're shooting landscape, that's definitely a filter to have.
Right. To slow the motion of water, waves, whatever, clouds even. I've got a 10 stop filter. I also have the color warming polarizer built by Really Right Stuff, and I also have a 10 stop neutral density filter. That one's actually a B&W. I also have a couple pieces of just straight UV. I do not use filters on my camera just as a protectant because I like doing sun stars. Side light puts more flare on the front of the lens, so I find myself taking these on and off all the time. I like pure glass. But in South Georgia, we've had winds 70 miles an hour throwing rocks the size of dimes and sand, so I might put that on just to protect it in these kind of specific environments. Carry a pair of gloves with me.
Geez, you know, gloves and little hats, things like that can tuck in around gear nicely and protect it.
Totally.
In that time where the wind does pick up, the temperature drops, you pull those out, and you've got a little extra warmth that keeps you there shooting a little bit longer and keeps you much more comfortable.
Right. Generally I carry a little space blanket. I have it down in the room. Carry extra flashcards. And one lesson I learned the hard way is I went to Iceland, and on my first day I lost my cable release, spent 5 hours looking for it. I was all over the countryside, it was down some lava rocks. I always carry two. They're not that expensive. I think they run around 40 bucks a piece or whatever. I have multiple lens cloths. I carry 3 or 4 batteries up here. I have Zeiss cleaning wipes, so if I get salt spray or whatever, I can wipe that down.
I'm going to keep that in mind in case I need it.
Yeah,
I'll be tracking you
take
down.
one.
Oh, thanks. You're a heck of a friend.
And that's 10 bucks, by the way. And then I carry some regular lens cloths, quite a few of them. One other thing I like to carry, I also have a waterproof cover for my camera, which is down in my room because we're not going out. I have one of these camp towels that you can buy from REI. Absorbs a lot of water, so if you happen to get things wet, you can just wipe them off and it'll really suck the moisture off. And if you have to take a shower out in the field, you have one of these.
Wipe the brow off. And hey, I noticed you do use your lens hood on that zoom lens.
Always, always, yeah. It cuts out side flare. Now, where you might have a problem with a long lens, which I had in Patagonia, shooting the condors, blowing 60, 70 miles an hour, these things catch wind.
Yeah.
Okay? Very rare instances I might have to take this off and just shoot without it and let the best happen. But when it comes to lens flare, shooting into the sun, you know, just off on an angle, backlit, really, really important.
It all helps.
Yeah. I don't have them for my other lenses. I just didn't bring them with me. But usually I have them as well. And that's probably about it. I don't want to carry a lot of gear. Got a little bit of lens pens for cleaning, and that's about it. A lot of times I customize the bag for the trip I'm doing. I mean, I think we all do that. So
that's important. Okay.
And always have a candy bar.
Yep.
Power bar.
A well-fed photographer tends to be a more creative.
Is a good photographer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Hey, thank you for sharing that with us, and I'm looking forward to the landing here. You know?
I am too, Hart.
Yeah. Thank you, and for Joe Van Os in our second episode here of It's in the Bag. Thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to catching up with you with another episode.
Later.